Welcome back to another how-to episode from Panasonic Pro AV. The series consists of a number of videos that we're used to cover questions that we frequently get asked. We completed an episode earlier in the series on our state-of-the-art auto-tracking software, which focused on the AW SF100 PC-based version. So be sure to check that video out here. In this episode, however, we'll be taking a look at the AW SF200 server-based version of the software and looking at how auto-tracking can be implemented across multiple PTZ cameras. So let's take a look at how we can use this incredibly powerful software with SF200. First, we need to download the AW SF200 server version. We're going to go to our Panasonic Pass page, and then we're going to go to the Software Download tab. Inside Download, we can then see AW SF200 Auto-Tracking Server for Windows. Once we're here, we're greeted by two different tabs, and as mentioned earlier, we have two different versions for either GPU processing or GPU and CPU processing. Of course, one of the key features of SF200 is the ability to track up to 4 PTZ cameras at one time per server. This is different from the SF100, which is one PC, one camera at one time. Another question that we frequently get asked is where they can find the operating manuals and also the specifications of the hardware that's required to install the software on. So if we scroll down here, we can see the operating manuals, we can see the release notes of the server versions and what improvements have been made. And then finally, if we scroll down, we can see the system requirements of the latest version. So once we download the SF200 software and we follow the installation procedures, we're then going to define the IP address of the auto-tracking server. In this case, I've chosen 192.168.0.50. So this is quite important because this will be the directory when we search for the software on the server to find and access the interface. So in our setup here in the studio, I have the auto-tracking server connected onto the same network as our PTZs, and I also have my laptop here. And if I want to activate the auto-tracking interface, which is now running as a service on the auto-tracking server, I then type in the IP address that I just mentioned. We then put /ATSS auto-tracking server software, and that means I can now access the interface of the service that's now running. So I have user ID and password, and I've now made a special one for PUK Studio here, and then I enter my credentials. We do advise that you change these credentials when you download the software for security and network purposes. Now that I log in, we use Google Chrome as our tab to access the software, and this is our preferred browser of choice. I've already added some of our cameras here, but just to show you how quickly and easy it is to add, we go to the gear icon on the top left, camera, and then we can simply add the cameras here using the auto search function. With auto search, it then pings all the IP addresses of the cameras, and we can easily adjust this if we need to suit the network needs. Now that the cameras have been added, we also have here in the lower right some additional features as well. So if the auto-tracking server software is disconnected, the cameras can move into a position. So let's say it's pointed at a lectern when the tracking is not in use, or we disconnect the server entirely. So that means that the cameras are always going to a usable state after auto-tracking. We also have some other tabs like user, where we can add administration rights. So if different users or staff want to be able to have access to the account and the software, we can easily do this, as security is incredibly important on a network, on any type of campus or corporate environment. We can also assign different roles, whether they're an administrator to have network access, or they're just a user that wants to be able to do some configuration of the cameras and the software. We can add categories. So again, if I then type in Lecture Theatre A, and I want 4 cameras to be tracking in this theatre, I can then select and then add them in here. Finally, we have the facial recognition tab as well, and I'm going to go into detail about how this works in a minute. On this side as well, we also have auto mode for setup and configuration as well, where the cameras can also be set up, predefined, and then also running. We also have import export, and this is also a really important feature because what we can do is save all of our settings and replicate these across different servers as well. So all of our setup configuration information, if we want to keep a backup, we can simply save and reload them as needed. So let's go back to the cameras and let's check out how the tracking works. So as mentioned earlier, 4 cameras per server can track, and I've got 4 PTZs, UV4, UN70, UE100 and UE150, so it works completely across the range. Let's take a look first at the UE4, and here is the interface that is familiar to SF100. We have our JPEG monitoring feed, and the auto tracking is using that feed to be able to track and detect and tell the camera where to move over a network. We also have the camera controller, so I can set up the position of the UE4. We can also take our presets. We have preset thumbnails to see the position of where the camera preset will move to. And this is also where we can set a home preset after the tracking, so it can move back to a home state when it detects a new lecturer. We'll show how that works. In the lower right as well, we have our camera settings where we can adjust different color, iris, gain, and also white balance, all in one window. Here we also have tracking and also facial recognition. I'm going to show you how this works on the UV150. We can also do an auto-tracking start area. So this defines a specific area where if I walk into, the tracking will then begin. Let's take a look at a PTZ. So I have the UV70 connected here. And going back to some of these features, we can actually customize some of the tracking. So we can have auto-tracking stop-start. So as soon as it detects or the software connects, auto-tracking is then immediately running. So no operator necessarily required to manually do this. We can also change the different types, so body detection and facial recognition, and which one it's going to prioritize. We also have reset to home position. So what this means, if it loses me and I walk off and I've completed my lecture, it's then going to reset back to a home position, and that can point at a lectern or a blackboard waiting for the next presenter to walk in. We define exactly how much time we want in between. We also have sensitivity level, so if the camera is really far back or some challenging lighting conditions, this also defines how sensitive the camera is for the tracking. And that is 1 to 10, 1 being lowest and 10 being highest. Facial recognition is again incredibly unique, even more powerful with our GPU processor. So from here, with facial recognition, I can activate, but it could be any face. This is prioritizing me as the speaker currently. So if someone else was to walk next to me, it doesn't matter because it's already focused on my face and is intelligent enough to know to focus on me. We can then take this even further. We can actually input a face as well. So I can select a face, and I can take a still from the camera. So let's say I want to take a still from the UV150, and then I can simply add my face here, and that can be done on the fly during a lecture as an example. So we can actually demonstrate this. I'm going to introduce my colleague Ollie, and you can actually see how this works in action. So at the moment, it's currently tracking me. However, if I wanted specifically to follow me, we can now zoom out. Hello, Ollie, welcome. And we're now going to move around. So if I'm delivering the lecture on here, and there's a student in the way, you can see that the yellow square is detecting me and it's not focusing on Ollie here. So this is really unique because again, this is being done all over IP and we're not actually using any infrared lanyards or anything else to additionally track. Thank you very much, Ollie. So if we have multiple people, it's still going to focus on me. Let's also take a look at the UV100 and the UV150. Again, facial recognition, completely optional to add a face and GDPR compliant as the data is not shared anywhere but locally and is optional to use. I've now predefined some of our positions as well. So we have pan tilt limiters in the lower right. So this is actually our tracking area. We also have our width detection and height detection as well. So it doesn't capture the back of students' heads and we're focusing inside a tracking zone. That means anybody that walks into these markers is just going to detect me and nobody else. Our auto zoom features are especially powerful inside auditoriums. A way it can automatically zoom into the presenter with no manual operation required. So let's demonstrate these 4 cameras tracking in action. We're now going to switch over to our multicam view and we can see all the cameras tracking at one time. So the UV4, UV70, UV100 and UV150 are all following me. The server is processing the auto tracking and the laptop is then just showing us the interface for when we need to configure. It's really crucial when we set up auto tracking, we predefine our parameters so we get the best performance out of the auto tracking. Once this is set, then we can just go day to day per different auditoriums. They'll be running as a service and just waiting for the next lecturer, and it's completely automated as a solution. So what happens if a lecturer is then going to leave the lecture and there's going to be a new lecturer walking in? So at the moment, I've set up auto tracking and facial recognition, but I've just left it to whoever's going to step here is going to detect that face. So the lecturer's now finished the session and the cameras have been predefined to return back to the lectern position after 2 seconds. They have now booted back, but this time a lecturer might be wearing a face mask. So a new lecturer is now detected, but the cameras are still automatically following. So even with facial recognition on, the smart GPU processing power is still automatically following me, and it does not matter. So this is an overview of the SF200 server software. It's incredibly popular for multiple PTZ camera tracking, and as you can see from an AV network management perspective, it's really simple to install, use and manage in one place. We do offer a 90-day free trial on the Panasonic Pass page. You can download to test with one camera on your server or your high-spec PC with a GPU, and we hope you enjoy using this software. Thank you very much and see you in the next video.
Panasonic Business.